I tell you what, though, I wouldn't even bother. Yes, it's just look. So what can I say, man? It's
shocking, very shocking.
Yeah.
Annie, you must be enjoying tonight. So we'll skip your intro. I'll put up the team. That's how we set up. I mean, I was not complaining at all about that team. One bit, I thought that was probably, obviously, other than maybe dropping Shelby, I thought that was our strongest 11, and I actually thought, get in. But John, what happened?
Wow, it's great to see Joe Linton drop, to be quite honest with you, so I'm not going to lie, but it's great to see Callum Wilson back. He was always going to make one. Hold on. Right, and basically, I'm not being funny, right, but he should have gone for a 4-2-3-1 because this 5 at the back, now real talk, this 5 at the back isn't working at all for Newcastle. It's not. Every time we 5 at the back, right, we don't hardly win, don't we? You know what I mean? It is so frustrating. He needs to change it up now because the fact is, we're not going to win games with 5 at the back. And I want to see some changes as well on Friday against Leicester because half of those players are not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, the 5 at the backs work pretty well-ish in the last, because we were unbeaten in 5 or 6 games, weren't we, really, when you think about it? It's just there was no enthusiasm from the players today. No one seemed bothered. I mean, we let them go 1-0 up after 5 minutes and never laid a glove on them from that point. It was just, I don't know, it was like going back to the Brighton game again. That's how bad it was. That's how I felt. Annie, did you watch the 90 minutes today? I hope you did.
Yes, I did.
Well done. Otherwise you were going to get dumped out the show there. As a neutral, come on. What you've other than, I mean, Arsenal were fantastic. I thought they played a lot stronger team than I expected because of Thursday night. They controlled the game very well when they had the ball. I mean, What were your thoughts?
Obviously, Arsenal. I think it's just quality in the end. It's not necessarily because of Newcastle's disappointment. I think Arsenal were the much better team, and just because of the fact they had the quality off the bench and on the bench and on the pitch as well. Like so Thomas Partey, Emile Smith-Rowe, Nicolas Pepe, Nketiah, Saka coming on. It's a strong bench, and then in the end, it's Aubameyang who grabs the goal, wraps up the game. It's just a bit of quality, and it's game over. I don't think Newcastle have that at the moment, except for ASM, but his final ball is not at its best. He definitely needs to improve that, but positives were there. I thought the back line was fairly decent. They didn't have much to do other than Arsenal constantly just passing around the middle of the pitch. So yeah, I'd say it wasn't a bad performance, but I think they didn't do enough to get a draw, win the game potentially.
No, I don't think we can argue with that at all. I don't think we did enough to even have a shot on target. That's how bad it was. Next 2 games, no points potentially. Stop rubbing those eyes, John. How are your eyes, John? How are you feeling, mate?
You know what it is, man? It's much better. You know what I mean? Just all my puffy skin underneath the eyes is better, I think. So awesome. It's much better because the fact of the matter is, sort of thing, I was offish on Monday night. I ain't gonna lie, I was well off the pace. But you know what? I came on, I made the effort to come on, sort of thing, But listen, no regrets.
Good. Glad you're feeling better, mate. And Dave, we're all good. As you can see, John can see again. It's fantastic.
Baz, just one thing. You can put the link in the comments on StreamYard.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do that, didn't I?
You can do that right now. Actually, just copy the link at the top of the page. It's the same thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. This could go absolutely disastrous. Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'll break it. I'm on an Apple Mac and I don't know how to use it properly. There it is. I've said it.
Should I do it then?
Yeah, you do it, Annie, pal. I was going to send it out again on Twitter as well, to be fair. But let's bring Chippers in. Let him have his 5-10 minutes of glory. Chippers. There's that smiley face.
Don't lie, I'm smiling.
No, not really. Exactly. There's nothing to smile about. Look, Paul sums it up brilliantly. It was a disgusting performance and shameful. Paul, if you want to come on, mate, and have a rant, come on. But come on, Chippers, let rip.
It was a fucking disgrace. It was absolutely shambles. We were beaten from the first whistle. There was just nothing. Then you hear him at the end of the match coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, I can't fault the players F has. I'm sorry, we had one shot on target. We had 38% possession. I can fault that and put plenty faults in it, and it wasn't good enough."
Damn it! I had 42% for the possession bingo on Twitter. Devastated. 4% away again. Damn it!
Not for us then.
I'm getting closer. I'm getting close to it. But it's just a free thing on Twitter. This guy does it. It's quite good. But what do you think of the sending off?
Yeah, stupid. It reminded me of Fraser getting sent off at Sheffield United. It was just unnecessary. No need for it. I mean, to be honest, why did he bring him on? Why were 2-0 down? He changed the centre backs over. We needed a goal. We didn't need to keep another clean. We didn't need anything else. We needed a goal, and he brings the centre back on.
He gave up. He gave up.
Pretty much gave up.
We were beaten from the first whistle because there was no intent to win that game yet again. No intent to win it. Chelsea beating Fulham last night made his mind up, like it always seems to be. He's not seeming to be bothered about us. He's more bothered with Fulham getting beat, West Brom getting beaten, and things like that. That's how he picks everything, not on how he wants to or whatever. It's always to do with the other teams, not to do with us.
Chibbers, do you think, right? I mean, I said to Baz earlier on, back up minutes ago, do you think now that Steve Bruce, he needs to change his tactics and play 4-2-3-1? Because clearly the five at the back just doesn't work at all whatsoever. And when you got Emir on, right, trying to help out the back, help out, yeah, and Callum Wilson have to clear off the line in the first half, it tells us everything that he can't trust his back five at all whatsoever. I mean, that back five, I'm sorry, are not good enough for Newcastle. I want to clear out in the summer.
Yeah, well, I was on your watch along, wasn't I? I was commenting on it. And if we're going to play 5-3-2 the rest of the season, we need to take Almiron out and play a centre midfielder there because it's not his position. Simple as that. He's doing more defensive work than attacking forward because that's not his position. If you're going to play Almiron, you've got to change the formation for him to get the best out of him.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and it really saddens me to see the way he's playing at the moment. There's two things for me why Almiron's not the Almiron that we're used to. One, he hasn't got Rafa managing him anymore, and Rafa knew how to get the best out of him. And two, he had that injury, and he's never been the same since it. So I don't know why that is, but then you can put the third one in and just say Bruce is shocking. So
yeah, I think we'll sell him in the summer. I think if Bruce stays, he'll go. I think he'll be the £20 million bait they try and get Willock in. That's my opinion.
Okay, all it is for me, my opinion.
And they're saying 4-4-2, and I don't think we've got the players to play 4-4-2. We really don't.
No.
Like as John says, if we've got so many attacking options, we need to be able to fit them all into a correct formation, and 4-4-2 wouldn't work because we haven't got two strikers for a start.
No.
Wilson and Joe Linton.
Yeah, Joe Linton's not a striker.
I
think we've seen 2 seasons of Joe Linton. We know he's not a striker.
I don't know much about this guy, but what about the youngster? Is it Elliot Anderson? Maybe give him a run out.
Tackling midfielder, he's more like a St. Maximum type of player, I would say.
Then maybe a 4-4-1-1. Drop Elliot Anderson, Sam Ritchie, put them all forward.
We play Ritchie left back. You can't.
Give Jamal Lewis another run out. He needs the game now.
You can't play him at the minute because his confidence is shot to bits, and if he goes back in that team straight away, his confidence will go again. You can't bring him back in at the minute because he's an attacking fullback. He's not a defensive minded player. And Steve Bruce wants defensive minded players in defence. So
But-
it's pretty.
but
It's a-
you-
it was
you
a pretty
need-
pointless signing.
You need someone there because you can't if you're not going to play Fraser because he's apparently got the bad attitude, and you're going to play Richie. Who you going to realistically play on the other side? Are you going to play Miggy on the other side? Are you going to play
Well,
Shelby or Longstaff on the other side? What's happening?
We could have had Dummett at left back, but if Shaw didn't come on big ahead of this chicken, he would have been another centre back option. But obviously, that's took him out of the equation for the 3 games. We've got no choice now.
You could appeal it.
Thing is, right? I mean, I'll look at that 3 centre back, right? I mean, that 3 centre back doesn't look balanced at all whatsoever because you've got 2 players out in the back 3 are left-footed.
Left-footed, yeah.
Left-footed, and that is Kieran and Federico. And the latter, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm going to make a statement now, guys. Yeah, I think Fernandez for me is not good enough. Clark ain't good enough. Richie on his days okay. I thought Jacob Murphy, he's out of contract. We'll have a problem. People say that give him a new deal, but I ain't too sure. But like I said, Shelby, I should get him out as soon as possible, man. You know what I mean? I'm being harsh, yeah, I know, but I want about
very harsh considering last week you were praising them all.
Clark and Fernandez, not good enough, really.
You were. I thought Clark was quite solid today, to be fair. I didn't see many mistakes in him.
Take what happens. I'm keeping on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, does Lascelles walk back into the team to get that balance at the back? Do you drop Dummett because he's not really a centre-back? He is a left-back. If you go to the 4 at the back, you need Dummett, Lascelles, and Shaw for me, but Shaw's now suspended. So you've got Lascelles and Fernandez or Clark. And then on your right back, you've got to put Mantua back in because you don't play Murphy at right back in a 4. You play him in a 5.
Why is he not playing?
He's played Murphy, hasn't he? With a bit more quality going forward as a right wing back. If you play a 4,
he wasn't even on the bench, was he? For some reason,
was he not?
Neither was Carroll.
He might be on the way in the summer.
Well, there is rumours we're either selling Kraft or Mantua to fund for another right back, I've heard. But I don't know how true that is.
Probably Manquillo. No one else is like.
Get rid of both of them if you're going to bring in a quality right back, I guess. But then again, you're leaving yourself short, aren't you?
Didn't Manquillo only sign a 1-year contract last season, like a 1-year contract extension this season? So he'll be out of contract at the end of the season, is he?
No, he's had a 4-year deal. He's done 4. I found out 4 years.
I thought it was just a 1-year contract.
No, I think it might be a 4-year deal. I found out 4 years, no problem.
I think it might be a 2-year deal.
I like Mantua, though. I think he's all right. I can't pronounce his name properly, hence the reason why Andy keeps on taking the mick out of us. But he's got one of those names that doesn't work for me.
Right.
Yeah, just to let you know, guys, Manquillo has signed. I was correct. 4-year deal.
Yeah. 4. There you are.
4, yeah.
So there's another talking point before you go, Chippers, and I think it's very interesting to discuss it, is this. Now, again, when we were watching, now basically the reason why I did this picture and I actually tweeted it out, because a lot of people were saying VAR is bullshit. It's not. It's the people who are using it are bullshit. Yep. It's them guys sitting there at the screens not knowing what they're doing. Mind you, she looks quite fit, so I'll let her off.
Oh, but, my God.
You can't even say our face, so it might be a man, you don't know.
Nah, that's not a man.
Yeah, Barry.
Hey, I'm allowed. I'm angry. Right, so why did we not see any lines on that offside decision for the Aubameyang goal? Because there's a lot of pictures that have been tweeted out that make it look like it potentially could be offside. Now, personally, I think the defender's foot kept them onside. I wasn't too sure who it was, but I think he was probably just onside. But why aren't we seeing the level of consistency, with VAR, with the officials, and even with Sky themselves? Why didn't we see the lines? Why didn't we see the decision being made and making it clear and obvious for us to understand it was offside? Because it opens up that discussion again. We're not the big 6, so we're not getting the decisions. What do you think, Chippers?
To be honest, I don't think they know themselves. I think they just don't know what they're doing themselves. I think I've always said VAR should be okay with ex-players doing it, not these referees, because how many inconsistencies, how many inconsistent decisions was there before VAR came in? Like the amount of decisions we've seen the past few years where, Liverpool have had soft penalties, this team's had soft penalties, and there weren't penalties. And then, this season, it's just, I don't think they know what they're doing. I really don't. Although I'll say today is that it wouldn't have been any difference because we deserve to get beat.
True. But the only thing that I'm saying about it is just I get why you mean ex-players, and I agree we need an ex-player on the panel. I don't think ex-players should fully run VAR because you still need the match officials who know all the rules and understand the game from that side of it, because not all footballers know all the rules, and I'm 100%, I believe that, because I see it in cricket where players don't know what the rules are because the rule book's as thick as your arm. So I understand. We should have maybe one player who can maybe look at, players diving and stuff like that and say, look, there's not enough contact there, let's move on, sort of thing. But you still need actual match officials as well at the same time. Annie, what are your thoughts on VAR? Because we had a good discussion about it a few weeks ago. So,
well, sorry, I've just been distracted by horrific comments in the chat. I mean, that's just disgusting. No, Jack, no, don't put it on the screen.
No, why has he done that? Yeah,
I'll get it blocked right away. If that was on my channel,
how'd you
right away?
There we go, blocked. Go on.
But yeah, obviously it's getting absurd now. Really is, with the fact that we have to discuss VAR every single week because of one decision or another. You could name me every single game week, tell me the games, and I'll tell you one VAR decision which is controversial. That's how bad it's got. It's really it's really daft, to be honest. The only explanation I've got for not drawing the lines, potentially they're trying something different. Maybe, but seriously, come on. That second goal, it's not a fifth, it's not a sixth goal, it's a second goal. It could be crucial in Newcastle's season. If they get a point from that game, pretty much confirms their safety. So yeah, I think they've got to be accurate, because otherwise this absolute nonsense is just going to keep going on and on and on.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Just everyone, I apologise for that message coming up. I was trying to block, which I have done. That person is out of the chat now. Don't need things like that. Right, Chimmers, thanks for coming on, pal. Really appreciate it, man, for your input as always. And I guess we'll see you after the next game.
See you on Monday night.
Friday
night. See you Friday night.
No, I'm at work tomorrow night. Yeah. I'm at work tomorrow night.
Oh yes.
Oh, he is, yeah. I am as well, mate. So
not happy. So.
Love it. Right, pal. I'm going to bring Paul in now. I'll catch you later, mate.
Yeah.
Paul, my man, how are you doing?
Hello. I can't see anybody. You still got the picture up on the screen.
I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it. Calm down. I thought you might want to have your say on VAR as well, to be fair.
I mean, what do we do with VAR? It's the people that run it, mate. We know it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't really bothered about Arsenal's second goal. I think they played it beautifully. And we were just rotten. We were just rotten from the start. It's for Steve Bruce to come out again and talk this absolute utter crap about, saying the lads give it everything and all of that. No, they didn't. We were flat from the off. There was no effort. It was just dreadful. It was dreadful from the kickoff.
It was, wasn't it? It was, like I said, we're 1-0 down after 5 minutes, and I was watching the game, packing away my Kit Kats and that, just going, my God, I don't know how much more I could take of it after the whole start. It actually brought me back to Brighton again. That's how bad that performance was. There was just no fire. I mean, I was watching your show on my break, And obviously, I mentioned about Shelby, so we might as well go on to that topic.
Oh.
You know, how has that man got the captain's armband still? I mean, we're talking a guy who's lazy, again, failed to track back for the first goal. I used to love him, but I've lost all sense of what he actually brings to the team now. His legs have gone. He just doesn't seem as interested as he used to be. I mean, how has he got the captain's armband, Paul?
me and John noticed straight away when they scored their first goal. You know, it was the same. I mean, Longstaff and Shelby were miles apart. There was nobody on the edge of the box covering El Neni at all. And then what got me was, you know, Shelby did this other thing, you know, his normal thing where he sort of bent down, sort of as if he's like, oh, you know, he's trying to get there when he's not actually even moving.
Yeah.
And it's just pathetic. I mean, he just does nothing. He doesn't motivate players. He doesn't, you know, you don't see him shouting at anybody. You don't see him motivating. He's not a captain, and he never will be a captain. He's just, the only reason he's in that team now is because of the stuff that he's, you know, rambled on about, you know, about Steve Bruce and stuff like that. He's obviously, it's like a teacher, isn't it? You know, a teacher's pet kind of thing. That's what he is. And you can tell that by the way he talks in his interviews about how Steve Bruce is a wonderful man manager and a motivator in that. Well, if that was motivation today, then God help us. It was terrible.
I mean,
can I say something? I was going to say something to Paul and rush my game today, right? Obviously, and thanks for joining us again. Would you, in the summer, and I've said this on my chat as well in the watch along, would you get rid of those players now in the summer? He goes, I'll get rid of all of them, nearly all of them, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Shelby for me's got to go. He's not the future in Newcastle United. You know, he's done. I mean, Barry, I know you're a big fan of Miggy, but I said on my match reaction show with Jade that I'm worried that he's not the player we thought he was, and he just doesn't do it enough. And what the hell does that say?
I have no idea.
I think I might be able to read it. Maybe. I'm not sure. No, never mind.
Yeah.
I could. If it was 4 years ago, I could.
It says John Joe Shelby is the biggest pile of shite. But you know what it is? I mean, going
he's
back
just
to
David in disguise, though.
Yeah. Going back to Miggy, I mean, you know, I think somebody worked out he's got 3 assists in 3 years. I mean, it's not good enough. And my worry is that, you know, yes, and I asked Jade this on my show, and it'd be interesting to get you guys' thoughts on it. Is Miggy, you know, such a popular player because of his work rate instead of his talent? And I'm not being, I don't want to be disrespectful to Miggy, because I love Miggy. I love the attitude he's got to the game and everything like that. But is he such a fan's favourite because of his work rate and not his end product? You see what I mean?
Well, no, definitely.
Yeah, you're right.
It's hard not to argue against that as well, because, you know, his record's not looking great. But I always remember the Miggy who was under Rafa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the way he played and the way that Rafa used him is he was the focus point. You remember his first game when he ran through, chipped the goalkeeper, hit the post. We all thought, wow, we found ourselves a player here.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to have deteriorated since Bruce came in my eyes. And he's also had that bad injury. So,
you know what?
It's down to coaching. I mean, I think he's been. I mean, a few comments came in for me saying he'd been bruised, but you know, when you get an international class player, or you know, you adjust to whatever position, and you're still a threat. I mean, he's just not a threat anywhere on the pitch. I mean, yes, he made that goal line clearance today, but we need to see him. And I've said this for a few weeks now. We need to see him at the top end of the pitch where he plays. And we're just not seeing him there. And, you know, what frustrated me was, you know, John will remember that first half when Miggy broke with the ball and Callum Wilson's pointing where he wants it playing, play him through, and he turned back. I mean, that's not Miggy. You know, he turned back and then just sort of, and then he ended up losing the ball. So, I mean, whether he's been told to do that or not, I don't know. But the old Miggy would have just driven on and played Callum Wilson in.
I'm not being funny. I absolutely, I totally agree. I mean, if I'm honest with you, as much as I love Miggy, I worried about the guy. I really am worried about him because the player I've seen under Rafa Benitez is not the same Miggy I've seen under Rafa Benitez. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being funny, but for me, he needs to get back to basics.
Yeah,
does the things he does, right? What he knows, right?
Yeah,
and then just go to the halfway line. You don't do now. When we get to the bar, you do your stuff. But until then, I don't want you tracking back. 5 at the back. He just said that Steve Bruce has ruined his career. Even though he's happy to stay at Newcastle, he said in the week that he's happy at Newcastle, right? Unless he's been told to say that. But by the end of the season, I want Bruce gone first before Miggy, if anything. Do you know what I mean? Because Miggy can go somewhere, right? Like in Spain, and he could be a superstar.
Bristol City.
Say again?
Bristol City, yeah.
Bristol City.
I love it.
You just look at Miggy's game and think, is he suited to somewhere, another league? You know, is it?
Yeah.
But then again, we've seen him perform, and that's just a frustrating thing for me. And St. Maximin today, his final ball was shocking. And we've said it, we've all said that for a while now, that he needs to improve on his final ball. And a couple of times he could have played people in today, and his pass was dreadful. I mean, what the hell? And the fitness of our team is abysmal, guys.
I was going to come on to that, Paul. I should have said this afternoon. I was about to say that, but they just don't break sweat at all whatsoever. There's no bite in the midfield. There's no bite. I want to see a midfielder like a Hayden go smacking in midfield, right? We ain't got Shover doesn't tackle, Miggy doesn't tackle, Sean Longstaff doesn't tackle, right? Our midfield is an area we need to concentrate in the summer. And until the midfield gets sorted out very quickly, right, we are going to get ripped a good one next season if in the Premier League.
I mean,
I agree.
I mean, you know, what do we actually know Miggy's best position? Has he been played in his best position? I mean, we think it's a 10, but he plays left side for his country. So, you know, it's just, I don't know. There was so much the matter with today.
Do Paraguay play 4-3-3?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
So he must be left-hand side then. Wow.
It's just...
No, it's not.
He should be a 10.
Be a 10. But I'm going to bring Surin in the background because he's been waiting a while. Bring him in. Hello there, Surin. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, guys. After that game, I can't say good, but it's fine.
It was a horrible game, wasn't it, Surin? Have you been listening to what the lads have been saying? What do you think of Miggy? Do you think is he a player we should be keeping a hold of, or is he a player we should be cashing in on?
I do feel that Miggy has potential to be a Premier League player, but the problem with Miggy is that his right foot is non-existent, really. He's more of a left foot player, and the problem here is that we keep changing his positions often. He's being played at the left wing and one game is being played at the centre mid, and he constantly switches positions a lot, and he doesn't settle in one position. His best position is obviously the number 10, and he has rarely played for us at that number 10. And Bruce.
Anyone else want to jump in on that? What do you think? Is he right? Spurs are 3-0 up. Yes.
I said he's got to be a number 10 to him. He's got to be a number 10. I mean, he came to us as number 10, not as Jack of all trades, you know what I mean? He looks knackered. When he does that, he plays all over the park, he looks knackered. I mean, I love his work rate. I love the way he plays. He enjoys on the pitch, but for me, it's definitely a 10 because at the end of the day, you don't need him covering. You've got 5 at the back. And now, against Leicester on Friday, if you're going to play 4 at the back, play him as a 10. We play 5 at the back, get him dropped because he cannot play 5 at the back.
I want to say, you know who I want to see is number 10?
Come on,
Sean Longstaff.
Yeah, what about Willock?
Nah,
I know he couldn't play
honestly,
today, but what about Willock in general?
I mean, I think Willock's more suited to midfield. He's a kind of box-to-box player that we've been crying out for. But Sean Longstaff is a more forward-thinking midfielder, and he's been asked to play a defensive midfield role. And a lot of people are having a go at him, saying, "Oh, he's not playing well. He's not doing this." It's not his position as well. It's like we were talking about, Barry. It's like it's square pegs and round holes. Sean Longstaff is an attacking midfielder. You know, if you look at him when he was on loan at Blackpool, he played as a number 10 and scored some fantastic goals. And then, you know, he played that game at Bournemouth last year for us as a number 10. And before he got injured, he was all over the pitch. He was absolutely fantastic. Scored a cracking goal. And Miggy played on the left-hand side of him, at Bournemouth. And Miggy was tremendous. So it's just with Steve Bruce, he's playing a lot of players in the wrong positions and asking them to do jobs that they're not there to do. That hasn't been their careers, and that's what lets us down.
That's why lots of players earlier on, right?
Yeah, and I saw on your show what Jade said is that, you know, the players have played there long enough now, they should be able to adapt because they're professionals. But I guess your argument of that there is, you know, well, we've tried it, we've tested it, it hasn't worked, so we need to go back to putting circles and circles and squares and squares.
I mean, the problem we've got is, you know, Steve Bruce is not a forward-thinking manager, and, you know, he doesn't look at the opposition and actually put a side out to combat that opposition. If he gets a good result in his previous game, he puts the same team out and same formation. He doesn't look at the opposition. You know, you looked at, I mean, I'm not making comparisons to Rafa. What I'm talking about here is the way he managed. And if you look at the way Rafa did it, he studied the opposition that we were playing next, and he made changes. No matter how people played in the previous game, he made changes to go up against that opposition. And but Bruce doesn't do that. He just puts the same team out if we get a decent result.
We had a proper backroom staff under Rafa to study opposition, and we had a proper data scientist team as well at that time. And the injuries were also quite less when we are under Rafa when compared to with Bruce. So yes, I agree with that. In that regard, like we under Bruce, we stick with the same formation and setup regardless of the opposition's lineup and formation setup they have used in the past. For the best example would be the Chelsea game. Where we stuck with the diamond, the 4-1-2-1-2 diamond, and Chelsea like ripped us apart with the wing backs. They stretched us apart completely and ripped us with the Alonso and Callum Hudson-Odoi and Werner and Mount in the wings. And that's a good example of that formation setups we stick with.
Totally agree.
Yeah. I do as well. I'm just reading that comment as well. It's quite an interesting one. He would sell Miggy and get the striker from Celtic. I'm not too sure which.
Edward.
I don't watch much Scottish football, to be honest with you.
Well, the thing is, Steve, we know that Steve Bruce is, you know, during a match, he's a reactive manager. He's not proactive. He doesn't send our side out to beat the opposition. He always waits to see what the opposition are going to do to us. And then after 70 minutes, he just, like me and John said, he just throws people on. And he just throws them on. And there's that last 20 minutes, we were all over. Nobody knew where they were playing. And it's terrible. It's absolutely shocking. And he needs to be more proactive and actually go out and tell the lads how to beat the opposition, not how to, you know, sit back. I mean, that was Arsenal's reserves today.
Well, he did it against West Ham as well, didn't he? We were 2-0 up. We'll come out in the second half. Everything falls to pieces. And then he reacts and then brings Willock on and we end up winning 2. If you start thinking back of those games, how lucky have we been to be able to accumulate the points we've accumulated? I can't believe I've even said that word, to be fair. Sorry, Surin, go on.
Yeah, I just pointed out that it was against 10-man West Ham as well.
Yeah, we were all over the shop. We were dominated by a team with 10 men.
One thing I would say though is why change something that's not broken? If you've won previous game,
But Annie, the thing is, Annie, we haven't played well for. The only time we've played well is the first.
It doesn't matter to
against West Ham.
Bruce. It doesn't matter to Bruce. It doesn't matter to Bruce. It doesn't matter to managers who are pragmatic. As long as they win, they send out the same team over and over and over again because that's what they do, and they won't change it unless there's like injuries, suspensions, and stuff like that. Because that's not what they do. That's not what they're known for. Because they need consistency in their team selection if they're going to succeed at their clubs.
Yeah, but this is what I mean, Annie. This is why he's a dinosaur manager. He needs to get up with the times. He's way behind. That kind of manager is on its way out. We all know that. You know, we need to see proactive managers.
There is no proactive managers in this current footballing managerial state. There is really a lack of proactive managers.
Well, you're telling me that somebody like Thomas Tuchel isn't proactive?
No. I'm talking about team selection. In terms of sticking with the same lineup and getting players to get used to that position and getting used to playing minutes, because that is eventually what is going to make you succeed. It doesn't matter if you put Lewandowski up front or Joe Linton up front. As long as he plays, it's going to be good for him, and he's going to improve, and that is true. That is facts. But it's that is like the only concern I have with proactive managers. They're constantly going to change it just because the opposition. It's not going to really work. One example I would use is Mick McCarthy from Ipswich 2 seasons ago, where he constantly used to change the system when he played against teams with a different formation. He constantly used to match them. Never worked. He got sacked. He resigned in the end. Led to chaos. Now Ipswich are in League One. Go figure.
Yeah. But why has Bruce got a terrible record?
Exactly. You're going to the championship. You're knocking on the door of the championship. You are in a mess at the moment.
No, I agree, Annie. But what we need to be careful of here is, we are not out of this relegation battle. No. We've all been saying we're safe. Now you look at the next 2 games. Fulham have Burnley and Southampton. Now, I'm not saying that they're winnable games for Fulham, because Fulham have been dreadful lately, right? But Fulham were 11 points behind at one stage of the season and pulled it back. They went on a run. They could easily do that again. So we have got a Leicester City side who are battling for the Champions League place. Then we've got Manchester City who...
Manchester City.
And Manchester City. And Guardiola will not accept anything but wins. So, in 2 weeks' time, Fulham could be back within 3 points of us. It's that close. And, we know how this league's been this season. Anything could happen. And I just think Newcastle United just downed all tools today. But when you've got a manager that comes out and says that after the game, that the effort and everything was there, those players are going to say, well, we've done enough. They're not going to... Somebody should be going in that dressing room and absolutely bollocking them after that performance.
Well, maybe he has, and maybe he's just come out on camera to save face. But I guess Bruce isn't intelligent enough to do that, though, is he?
Do you really think he would do that, though, Barry? The problem, he sees the players as his mates.
Have you seen Pearson? Have you seen Nigel Pearson? Have you seen Tony Pulis come out in the press conference and literally bash Bristol City players? He is literally going after them. It is utter madness that Steve Bruce is coming out with those comments after a game where they've lost 2-0 and have potentially dragged Fulham back into the relegation scrap. He's gone and said, "Oh yeah, they've done enough. It's unlucky. The players did put in 100% there."
Yeah,
it's utter nonsense. That guy is talking absolute rubbish.
He's just making a fool of himself. Complete fool of himself.
He is. He's not helping the fact that he's gone on a little bit of a splurge, and then he's gone and done that against Arsenal reserve, and then he comes out with those statements instead of apologising or giving bollocking those players. He's saying, "Oh yeah, the players did well." No, they didn't. It's I find that ridiculous, really.
I find
You know what?
I do 100% agree with you. I just feel that he might have. He's not that kind of manager who would do it on camera. He never has he? I've never seen Steve Bruce ever. Looking at all his interviews back in the past when he was Sunderland manager, Hull manager, any Birmingham manager, he never come out and slated anyone ever. No. And he might do that behind closed doors, and you would hope he did. But you are right. I mean, he shouldn't be coming out and saying that. He should have said it's not good enough. We've had an off day. I need to put it right on the training ground and blah, 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 you know, spit something out different to then, oh, yeah, we put in a performance and we just, you know, it never happened for her. Yeah, it's shit. But
another thing I would say, though, is if you do come out and criticise the players, you've got to make sure that you get a reaction out of them in the next game. Otherwise, it's just going to go all downhill. Again, take it back to Bristol City. Pearson bashes the players. Next game, we go and lose 4-1. It's not working. So clearly, he's got to say something nice about the players, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, it's. I would say it's ridiculous, but I do kind of understand why he has come out and said that he's kind of defended his players because it would hurt his morale and it would really he could lose them. He could lose the dressing room. He could lose the dressing room. Cliche.
We believe he already has, don't we, boys?
Yeah. I mean, the fact is, we said a couple months ago we had that bust on Matt Ritchie, right? I mean, we said then he's definitely lost the dressing room here and then sort of thing. But at the end of the day, Ashley doesn't give a toss. I mean, Paul, you said it today on the watch along. He would be watching this game. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? And the fact is, Bruce just wins again. And I tell you something now: if he manages us in the summer, we're done. Absolutely done.
I mean, was there any player out there today for Newcastle that you thought had a decent game?
No, none of them.
I thought the back three, to be honest, was okay. It was average, mediocre. wasn't the worst performance I've ever seen.
And Dubravka needs to work on his distribution. It's terrible. I mean, that is the one side of his game that he really needs to improve on. If you notice when we're playing out from the back, which, by the way, we should never do because we haven't got the players to do it. But when he
scares me.
Yeah, when he chips the ball out, he's making the defenders come back for the ball. He's not playing the ball in front of them. And I mean, it's something that a lot of people have banged on about for quite a while now, that his distribution needs improving. But it just, this playing out from the back, my God, it's heart in the mouth stuff every time they do it.
Yeah. See, for me, his distribution's good when he's playing it long. If you kick the ball back to him and ask him to hoof it, his distribution's much better than what Darlow's was. And that's why we wanted him back in the team. If you're asking him to play fancy stuff round the back like Man City do, that's not Dubravka. So you're asking him to do something he's uncomfortable doing, and he's going to make mistakes. So it's a stupid idea because, you know, you've got Dummett there as well, who's not a man who's ever comfortable on the ball, is he? He always looks to get rid of it as fast as he can. You know, Shaw is really our best centre-back who can play the ball out, and he was on the bench. So you shouldn't be playing those tactics.
Yeah, I heard you talking earlier about, you know, why he brought Fernandez off. I genuinely think he put Shaw on because of that, Barry. Because he can drive forward, he can bring the ball out, and he can run at players. And I think that's maybe why he brought Shaw on. But I mean, the sending off, why he's making a tackle there is there's no need. Just stand him up. You know, whether it was a sending off or not, he shouldn't be sliding in like that from behind.
I mean, for just coming on the pitch, you would think a yellow, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it should get rescinded in my eyes, but there we go.
Well, that's what I said, John.
Yeah.
When we looked at it, I watched it again and again and again. On real time, definitely sending off. It was a poor tackle. We watched it at slow film, again, poor tackle. Had to go. But watching it again, I'm on the fence on this one, man. You think it should be rescinded, right?
It was just a borderline red for me in that case. The boot wasn't much higher. It was just around the ankle area, I guess. If that's a red, we should have also had Xhaka sent off for the show on Sean Longstaff.
Yeah. That was a yellow card all day long.
Absolutely right. Shaw's just landed in Greece, says Andy.
On his holidays. Yeah.
He's just had one.
He's already off.
He's been what, missing for 11 weeks, and then he's played 10 minutes and he's back on another holiday again. These Spurs are running riot.
Game, I guess.
Yeah, having 10 minutes was too much for him, Surin. So before you go, pal, can you tell me two things? Who was your man of the match today? I don't think there was one, to be fair, but does anyone have an average game?
It must be hard to think. Saint Maximin, I would say. He got us Xhaka yellow card in the first half. But his decision making in the final third is not something. It needs improvement, of course. But for today, if I have to choose one, it's Saint Maximin for me.
Yeah, there's not much to choose from, was there, mate? And then finally, are we actually going to stay up?
I do think we'll stay up. I don't think Fulham has enough in them to get 6 points before they face us in the last game week. It's because of Fulham we would stay up, not because of Newcastle.
Yeah, well said. I think that's what a lot of us are echoing at the moment. Surin, it's been really nice talking to you, mate. Thanks for coming on the show. It's the first time you've been on, so I hope to see you again in the future, mate.
Sure, mate. Cheers.
Thank you, and bye. Nice guy. Never met him before. That's why we do these shows, because we get to meet new people and see them from different countries and different ideas of how our game's played. Because again, I mean, he's obviously picks it maximum out for the man of the match. I mean, I would have given no one man of the match today. I think probably the highest rating you guys will be doing on your match ratings tomorrow will probably be 5.
I've always done my ratings as well. I mean,
have you done it?
Nolan's not my man in the match. Nolan, not one iota. I mean,
right, guys, I'm gonna bid you good night.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, pal.
Sort the kids out there. No bother. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow night, John. Enjoy work, Baz.
I will.
Take care, Annie.
Take care, Paul.
See you later.
That's right.
Yeah, so you were saying, John, you've done your match rating. Go on, Annie, sorry.
Just very surprised Paul didn't bash Bristol City, to be honest. So, positive.
Positive for you. I guess he doesn't need to, does he? I mean, you're kind of bashing yourself at the moment, mate. So I do feel sorry for you. Because I like Bristol City. I've got a little affiliation with them because a friend I used to work with was a good fan of them. So, yeah. But you're always that club that's always near there and then just not quite there. And then, one day you'll make it into that playoffs, mate. I promise. Nigel Pearson will be the man to do it.
Yeah.
So, John, come on, pal. What were your player ratings? Tell me about it.
Remember, says lightly, I've give Chewbacca 5 out of 10. I've give Murphy, I think I've given him a 4. I might give him a 3, I might give him a 4.
Murphy regressed today, didn't he, for me? Murphy was the old Murphy before he started playing well again. I was a bit disappointed.
I wanted to give him a 3, but I might give him a 3 there. I thought David Hernandez, I gave him a 3. I give Clark, I think I might give him a 3, but I got up until 4 for him. He's to 4. No, actually, Doberton Fernandez is a 3. Clark's a 4. Richie, I got to be brutal. I gave him a 4 as well. Midfield, I gave Longstaff. I think I gave him a 4. I might be giving 4. Shelby 0. Amir on a 2. ASM 5, and I've given Wilson. I think I give him a 4. I think.
I feel sorry for Wilson because again, he didn't have the service, did he? Yeah, exactly. He didn't have the service, and there was that time when Maximum broke through and he slipped trying to play the ball through to him, and they're the crucial moments where you need your big players to pick the right pass and do the right thing with it. Shane obviously saying that his man of the match today was Martinelli. I'm sure Shane's an Arsenal fan. Obviously, the red in today's game, he thinks it's a red in today's game. I guess he was out of control, wasn't he? I think that's the reason why the referee's given the red, because you lunged in. It's not because it's 2-footed. It's just because of the intent, I guess. Potentially, I don't know. I just think it's a bit harsh. But again, he's saying Xhaka was lucky to stay on the pitch. I mean, he produced he should have 2 yellow cards, shouldn't he? That body check. That was a yellow. But again, because he was on a yellow, the referee didn't give it. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Oh, what's Chipper saying? Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, yes, Chippers, you're right. But, I mean, can we take any positives out of the game, John? Any?
Well, in today's game, or?
Yeah, can we take any positives out of that game today?
Not at all, because he had one shot on target. I mean, what did he actually do? What did Almiron do? Did any assists? Did he take ons, through balls? Nat Wilson, I feel sorry for him. Like you guys said, he's feeling up scraps. ASM was double up. He tried, but he was double up all the time. I thought our defending at times was poor. I thought Shelby again. Our game was 0. I mean, vote for the first goal. Long stuff. I thought, he tried to make things going, but couldn't. And onto that, not at all. I mean, we need to fix up on Friday. I want to make some changes on Friday against Leicester. I want to see a 4-2-3-1. I want to see Elliot Anderson in from the start. I want to see Joe Willock coming in from the start as well. Do you know what I mean? And we'll start with 4-3-1. I want to see if Miggy's going to play, it has to play as a 10 role. Otherwise, give it to Elliot Anderson. Give him as another 10 role. Give him a go. And then go for that. Am I being harsh? Probably not. But you cannot play that same team today for one shot on target. He's got to change it up. And he hasn't.
I thought the Arsenal defence was really good, though. To be honest, I thought Gabriel. I thought Gabriel and David Luiz were pretty solid, and I think they, with their height and power, just neutralised Callum Wilson and any threat he had. Because I thought he was non-existent in that game, and especially I think Gabriel, who went unnoticed. Like, he was just picking up right positions all the time to stop runs from Callum Wilson. I think when that Miggy ball went through, I think it was Gabriel who made Miggy question the fact that whether he should play the ball, and I think that was good from Arsenal. I thought Bellerin was good. I thought Xhaka was all right, even though he shouldn't have stayed on the pitch. Apart from that, I think it was good. I think Ceballos and Elneny were good as well. So I think it was a solid Arsenal performance, and I think it didn't really have much to do with Newcastle. I think it's just had more to do with Arsenal and how good they were defensively.
Thing is, though, I see your point, Anil, but at the end of the day, I just didn't really lay a glove on them. You just said yourself, Baz, you didn't really lay a glove on them at all whatsoever. And like I said, there's no creativity. Who was brave enough to take the game to them today? No one.
Even in the first half, we didn't even, like I said, we didn't land a glove on them. We didn't look like we wanted to. I mean, St. Maximin came too deep for my eyes to try and pick up the ball and run at them. But every time he ran at them, there was 4 in front of him, and he wasn't clever enough to pass the ball off and get into a better position or drag those defenders away to make space for somebody else. And it was such a disappointing watch, because I mean, we on Monday night we're so buzzing for this game. We were like, yes, we're playing Arsenal. We're on a great run. We've done this, but then when you look back at those games that we've actually won, we've actually been very lucky. And this again is those performances being punished today. Arsenal came and did a solid job on they knew what our threats were, they nullified them, and they took their chances when they came to them. And Aubameyang hasn't scored in God knows how long, and he comes on, and then boom, playing Newcastle, he gets his goal, doesn't he? And he took it very well. It was a great flying volley, good cross as well, I suppose. But the first goal for me, De Bruyne should have saved it. Do you agree, Evan?
He had 2 hands onto the ball, and he just couldn't keep it. He could have done a lot better than that. But I blame Shelby for that first goal, and also Richie and Dummett for that, for allowing that cross for Bellerin to get behind.
Yeah, I mean, it was so lucky how it fell to him as well, though, because Aubameyang had a shot and it hit his left foot, didn't it? Because he swung at fresh air with his right foot, hit his standing leg, and it ended up being a beautiful pass in the end, and it sat up nicely for him. And I still think the keeper should have saved that. De Bruyne was a bit poor with that. But goalkeepers make a mistake, and that's what happens. The ball ends up in the net, doesn't it? Spurs have won 4-0, which is not surprising, really. Sheffield United are down anyway, aren't they? I think they're mathematically down now.
Yeah.
But,
They lost against Wolves, which meant they unfortunately are relegated.
Well, it's one of those things,
Yes,
isn't it?
Unfortunately.
I just want to bring this up before we go, lads, because I know it's not about today's game, but I thought it was just a touch of class from ASM. I don't know if you've seen this, but someone tweeted ASM and said, "Can you come to Liverpool?" And Marnie goes the other way. And so Maxim actually replied to him, which is amazing that he actually did that. And he says, "I know you think it's a nice message, but to me, I don't like this. Be respectful to him. You were ungrateful. He did and has been doing a great job for Liverpool. And there's a long way for me to actually reach the heights that Mane has reached." And I thought that was a touch of class from ASM saying something like that, because with social media, and we've seen it tonight, there are obviously some idiots out there, and there are also people who, they forget what players have done, don't they? They forget how good they've been for their club. I mean, I would kill to have Mane in the Newcastle team because of what his work rate, his skill, his finishing ability. We would probably swap him, to be fair. I know St. Maximum's great to watch and that, but Mane's got a much more prolific record. So I just thought that was a touch of class.
It's got that end product, which ASM doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought it was a touch of class.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Good. There's not many players would actually respond to stuff like that. They would normally just let it go on their Twitter feed, but ASM seems to like to get involved, especially when he's battering Sunderland. It's even better, isn't it?
You're right.
There's some great ones on there. What's this one?
Batter Sunderland all you like. Don't batter Lee Johnson, otherwise I'll get very cross.
Oh, there we go. But yeah, so Shane, I thought he was an Arsenal fan. Obviously, last night, we were talking about how good the Premier League is, and I had special, and about how other leagues you wouldn't see Nottingham Forest sort of type of teams in the past, Ipswich and all them lot who have won European trophies. If you look through the Italian league, Spanish league, and French leagues, you won't see anyone in their lower leagues with European cups behind their history. And Shane's right. I mean, I expected a tougher game for Arsenal today. Best of luck for the semi-final, Shane, on Thursday night, because you're still in that tie. You still believe you can do it. You only need to win 1-0 and you're through. They've got a great chance of beating Man United in the final as well, with the form that Arsenal have got against Man United. So, yeah, good luck, pal. And thanks for watching, of course. But what do you guys think of the Premier League at the moment? I mean, he is right in a way. Big teams do struggle against little teams in our league compared to other teams abroad. Annie, you've got a shock face on you there.
Right, okay. Just making sure I don't get into a rant, because I will. Because I definitely will. But first of all, the Premier League is completely got its priorities messed up. It's feeding the big clubs. It's not helping the smaller clubs in the smaller divisions, League 2, League 1, Championship. It's not helping the teams that come up and don't have the facilities and the financial backing to compete in the league. And it doesn't have a fit and proper test which is sufficient and works. I'll start off with the financial distribution throughout the leagues.
I think you're missing his point here, Annie. Before you go on your rant, he's talking about special, as in the teams that the lower division part of, like Newcastle could go to Man City and potentially spring a surprise. That's what we're kind of talking about. We're not in, they're not talking about the pyramid.
I know. I was just leading up because
I'm just making
Newcastle,
sure, because you're going on a long one here, mate.
Newcastle, Brighton, teams like that who are down at the bottom. About half of them, or at least 3/4 of them, have come up from the Championship, and they've stayed up because of the fact that they've either got good managers or have, I hate to say it, but been lucky with the likes of Villa and stuff last year. But teams like that who've come up from the Championship and stayed up. The fact that the Premier League doesn't realise there are problems down the lower leagues, and the fact that there will be less of Newcastle or Sheffield United winning heroically at Manchester City, or battering Manchester City at the Etihad, or battering Liverpool at Anfield. That there will be less of that because of the fact that the Premier League they really don't care. They really do not care about the teams down at the bottom, and I think that also leads into VAR, and I think that conspiracy theory as well. But that's a whole different topic. but it's just ridiculous, just because of the fact that they don't get the money that the top teams get, and I think we all need to thank Sky Sports for that, because they are giving teams who come up and go straight back down 100 million a year, but then that leads to a whole new problem that they get financial advantage in the Championship. It's just a whole cycle, which just gets really annoying, and it gets really disruptive, because the Premier League, which is the top of the problems here, don't really care about the teams that come up, or the teams that are running out of money and are not getting TV money as much from Sky, because I don't know if you know, but BT Sport doesn't raise as much money, because people really just subscribe to BT Sport for the Champions League, and don't get as much money from the Premier League.
Right.
And it's just an endless cycle, which just keeps going on and on and on and on, and it's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely.
What you're going to break out in song there, Ariston.
No, that it's just my way of exaggerating things. But yeah, it just is ridiculous, and the Premier League needs to sort it out.
True, I agree with that, but it's still a special league, because the teams at the bottom can go to the bigger teams and win, which is very rare.
Is that why there's a top six? Is that why there was a big six? Is that why there's a big six?
No, they're saying there's the big six, but what we're saying is that, look at Leicester, look at West Ham this season, look where they are in the league.
I think I personally feel like that's a one-off. I personally feel like Leicester and West Ham are definitely a one-off.
Can't say Leicester's a one-off. You can't say Leicester's a one-off, because
no. Okay, yeah, okay, fine. Maybe Leicester. I think Leicester have done some good recruitment with the likes of Maddison and Vardy, bought for cheap from the lower leagues and bringing them up doing well. But that is different. But the likes of West Ham, who are predicted to be in relegation battle this year, have somehow risen, and they've just beaten the likes of Liverpool. They've jumped, and they've capitalised. But teams like West Ham, who are fifth at the moment, if you've noticed, they've beaten all the teams below them in the bottom half. They've beaten all of them. They've beaten. Oh, come on. They've beaten.
No, we did a double over them. We beat them we beat them first game of the season. We beat them at St James's Park. We took 6 points off West Ham.
They've beaten Villa twice. They've beaten Leeds twice. They've beaten these sort of teams.
All I'm saying is they're not beating Newcastle. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, come on, Barry, grow up.
No,
but still, they've done this, and it's what we call in the Championship flat track bullies. It's basically just beating everyone down the bottom and shooting up the league. It's that they've done that, and I think if West Ham want to continue, I think the Premier League need to sort themselves out, because if West Ham want to keep spiraling up the leagues and spiraling up the league and eventually just stay in the top 4 or stay in the top 6 consistently year in year out, they need to get the financial gain from the Premier League. And I think Sky are doing their best, but I don't think Sky really realise what difference it's having on the lower leagues, because this cycle, as I keep going back to, is endless, and it's and the parachute money from the Premier League 100 million broadcast money revenue from the Premier League, just from TV. It's just going down the leagues. And if you look at Sunderland, how many years were they in the Premier League?
Oh, from the last time they got relegated, 6 or 7, yeah. Yeah,
then that's 3 years worth of parachute payments. That's 3 years worth of 45 million, 40 million, 35 million. That's ridiculous amount of money. Now they're in League One. They're still the parachute payments just ran out last year. They could keep the likes of Aidan McGeady because why? Had the parachute payments. They used a bit of it, but still they had it. They kept it.
And that gives them an unfair advantage against the other teams that are down there. When that just shows you how bad Sunderland are because they couldn't capitalise on it.
That's why I respect Brentford so much. That's why I respect Brentford so much. They've come up from League One, had to sell Watkins, had to sell Benrahma, had to sell Chris Metham, had to sell Ezri Konza. They had to sell Bentley for 5 million. They had to sell these players. But they brought in the likes of Ivan Toney. They brought in Saman Ghoddos. They brought in Vitaly Janelt. They brought in Josh Silva, David Raya, Henrik Dalsgaard. These are players that they bought for either free or under $1 million or under 5 million, as in for Toney. That is just incredible recruitment. And that is the reason they're in the playoffs. And the fact that people call them bottle jobs in the Championship for top 2, I feel like is ridiculous just because of the fact that they don't have the parachute money. If I go to the Championship table in about 5 seconds' time, I will tell you that each one of the top 6, except for Barnsley and Brentford, who don't have the parachute money, is parachute payments. Norwich, parachute payments. Watford, parachute payments. Swansea, parachute payments. Bournemouth, parachute payments. Cardiff, parachute payments. That's the top 8. But then there's Reading, Barnsley, and Brentford. But Reading, they've got rich owners, so they pump in 15 million every year. It's just totally unfair on the clubs, and that's why I think the likes of Forest and Blackburn and Stoke have fallen off this season, and Bristol City, to be honest, from top half to bottom half. And Derby. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there because I could go on for about 10 more minutes, but I'm not. So there, I'm going to leave it there.
But you are right in a way, but it still doesn't mean the Premier League's not a special league due to the clubs that are at the bottom beating that's what they're basically trying to say. That's the whole point of it. Not because of money, not because of this. It's just the fact that on a windy night, on a Friday night, Stoke could go to Man United and they could beat them, or Man United could come to Stoke and Stoke could turn them over. That's the whole point that Shane's making, and what we made on Richard's show as well. You see, so that's it. It's
how
not
many
about
times
money.
How many times have a Stoke or a Newcastle gone to Manchester City or Anfield and beaten them?
It's not regular, but what I'm saying is it can happen. But if you look at the Italian leagues and the Spanish leagues, teams going to Barcelona in the bottom half, they turn up and get beat 5-6-0 all the time, sort of thing. It doesn't happen regularly that it does in our league. That's basically what you were saying. But yeah, I get your whole point around the whole money situation and stuff like that. It's not great, but. So, John, before you fall asleep, mate, I know you feel a bit tired, pal. It is time to nearly go. I haven't unfortunately got to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning and try and get myself onto a night shift body clock. It's fantastic. But I'm going to say it now, and I know Paul said that we still could get dragged into a relegation battle. We are safe. 9 points is too much for Fulham to get. Do you agree, John?
After watching today's game, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna say it live. I think we're safe just. That's only because Fulham and West Brom are going to win 3 more games.
Yeah, Andrew puts a good point there. Again, obviously, we've not really talked about it. The Man United fans storming Old Trafford and getting the game called off. We'll very, very quickly talk about that, John, because I know you've got a lot of Man United followers on your channel and also on Twitter. I mean, even Carragher came out and actually said that these fans were right to do it. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, can you imagine if 52,000 Geordies stormed St James's Park, how the uproar there would be if we did that. But if Man United do it, they're right to do it because their owners aren't treating their club right. We've had a shit owner for 14 bloody years, and it's just wrong. What for me, I understand protesting, but they took it to a different level tonight. I mean, do you agree or not agree? Or
the thing is, right, I agree, and I'll tell you for why. Because Man U fans, right, want success. Yeah, they're sick of their owners, right, taking money out of the club, right? Is it £1 billion or something like that? Taking money out of the club, right? And not spending enough money, right? Oh, now, I could be wrong on this, but United want to see change. They want the Glazers sell the club up, give it to someone else who really cares for the club. But all the Glazers after, typical Americans, is money, money, money. I hope now, right, our fans see what United done today, right? They might be thinking, hang on a minute, we'll do the same. We got so many groups, right? Like, different groups, like kind of Magpie group and whatever sort of thing.
There's war flags. There's loads of groups, isn't there? But
there is, but they should all be united as the one, right? And do exactly the same. Do exactly the same.
Do you think it's worth doing it though? Because we've got an owner who wants to sell. Now they're protesting because they want their owners out. Yes, we want our owners out. We've had to put up with this for 14 years. So Man United fans, be careful what you wish for, because you could end up with a Mike Ashley or you could end up with another Glazers for all you know. It's a business now, and that's the way the football clubs are being run. But our owner wants to sell. So what difference would it make us storming the stadium now, trying to get rid of him when we're in arbitration and we're trying to get the sale pushed through? I mean, it seems like the horse has bolted the gates if we do a protest now. We should have done it years ago. You know,
I have to agree.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Go on.
No, it's just, I mean, they were saying there were friendly protests, but one of the security guards stitches in his eyes and everything. Do you know what I mean? And all these things aren't getting broadcasted like they should be. It's crazy.
The camera, Sky camera, was also broken.
Also smashed. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and there was pyros, and there was broken chairs. There was broken. The gate was broken at Old Trafford as well. A lot of damage. It shouldn't be going. It shouldn't be gone. Shouldn't just be swept under the carpet, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a good one as well. The Man United fans have done it because they get the game called off, and then they've obviously got a bigger rest for the Roma game, haven't they? It's a very sneaky one, and potentially
they're already 6-2 up. What they need rest for?
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought. There you go. That's for you, Annie.
Leicester should be sure. I'm doing this season. Yeah, that's totally agree. On Leicester as well. Seriously, what a journey. 5 years ago in the Championship, 104 points under who, Nigel Pearson, and he kept them up in the Premier League next season, and then Ranieri takes over, and then just laid the foundations, and then rocket up the league, Champions League money. And then they're just able to sustain themselves from there, and that's why they are competing. That's why they are such a good example. I would call the title a bit of a fluke. I think that is why the reason they are sustaining at this moment, because of the Champions League money that did come in that season, and the sales of Mahrez,
Maguire as well.
Yeah, Maguire and Mahrez in two consecutive windows. Yeah, they are an example of what can be. I think Wolves as well, being in the Europa League. I know it's not spectacular, but still, I think with Wolves they had overpowered players in the Championship. I mean, seriously, Diogo Jota, Ruben Neves, Martinho, Rui Patricio. They won 4-0 at Ashton Gate that season when they got up, and I remember I watched the highlights of the game, and then one of the goals just passed it round our defence like it wasn't even there. And it's just so smooth. It was so easy for them. It was unbelievable. And then they've gone up from there, and they've just stabilised as a Premier League club. I think that's what the Wolves fans want, and they've done that perfectly.
Yeah, Jota's a big miss for them when he went to Liverpool. I don't think they realise how good of a player he was for them and how much of a miss he is. Anyway, Annie, final question for you, mate. Who was your favourite ever player?
Obviously, it's not going to be one of the big names from the past. Don't really have a favourite, to be honest.
You don't have a favourite player? Everyone has a favourite player. Come on, who's on your shirt behind you? Is it you?
That's me.
Same as me.
I love myself.
Why not?
But if I were my favourite player at the moment from Bristol City is Jamie Patterson. What a player! He's so smooth on the ball. So yeah, I'd say Jamie Patterson.
Good. And who's coming up from the Championship?
Well, two of them already gone up. So
playoffs. Who's going to win the playoffs? Who's your money on? It's never the team that finishes third. So whoever's third is not going up.
That is such a myth. That is so fan-led. It's unbelievable. It's statistically
led.
No. It's 75%. I think it's more than a 75%. That's third wins every time. I think Fulham were a rare exception last year, but they finished fourth as well. So. Barnsley, could I see them going up potentially? They've started resting players already for the playoffs. They could be fresh. They've got this unique pressing style as well. It'd be a good story for the Premier League. Who's fifth? Swansea. Swansea. I think they've got Andre Ayew, who's on 80 grand a week in the Championship. Go figure.
That's a lot of money. Maybe he was a Premiership player when he had that, though, wasn't he? So
parachute payments. That's why. Brentford. They've come so close. I think Ivan Toney might push them over the line potentially. And there's what am I missing out? Brentford, Swansea, Barnsley, Bournemouth. Bournemouth again. They've gone on a streak and they've got the quality. They've got Dan Juma there as well, so could see them going up. If my money was on anyone right now, I would say Bournemouth, just because the fact they've got Dan Juma, Solanke, Brooks, Billing.
Quality, basically.
They've got so much quality; it's unbelievable.
Annie, who do you think is going to expect the drop on Sunday?
Oh my days! Have you seen the league table? So Derby are 21st, Sheffield Wednesday are 22nd, and Derby and Sheffield Wednesday play on the final day of the season.
Yeah,
it's unreal. The goal difference is exactly the same. They're 3 points apart. If Sheffield Wednesday win, they stay up. If Derby win, they stay up. If there's a draw, Derby stay up. If it's a draw and Rotherham win, they stay up. Wickham need 13 goals and they stay up. It's unbelievable.
13 goals all over it. This is on Saturday, the 8th of May, is it?
I think so. But we've got the most important match. We play Brentford at home. Great. Most important match ever.
So who's going down? Well, see, Rotherham need a big swing, don't they, to stay up?
Wait, what's the goal difference on Rotherham?
6.
-6. Yeah.
No, so 6 to catch. So Derby on -22. Rotherham have actually got the better goal difference. So Rotherham win.
Rotherham have got Rotherham got
Rotherham got
games.
a game in hand.
Rotherham got a game in hand against Luton, who are on the beach. And if they get a point even a point at Luton, that's significant, just because of the fact that Derby and Wednesday are playing on the final game of the season.
The thing is, Derby just need a point, don't they? But can they go out and just get a point? And that's if Rotherham lose, of course. If Rotherham lose, then Derby just need a point, don't they?
Yeah.
Who are Wickham playing?
Wickham are playing Middlesbrough away. They're not going to get. They're not going to get 13 goals. They're Neil Warnock, are they? Surely not.
No, definitely not.
I think Wickham are done. I think Rotherham are done.
This is why we say goal difference is worth a point. Because when you look at a league table like this tells me why goal difference equals a point.
This is why I love the Championship. This is why I don't cover the Premier League. This is exactly the reason. Oh God.
Whoa, there's a bit of a. I can't see that happening, Andrew. To be completely honest with you, I think the bottom three sorted. I think West Brom have had their moment. They're not going to do it. I can't see Southampton going down either.
If West Brom win 4 and draw one of their next last 5 games potentially, but
yeah, that's not going to happen, is it? But looking at this Championship table, it's all in Derby's hands, isn't it? Really, a Derby at home or away? Yeah,
Derby at home. Derby at home at Pride Park, but they've got the 4th worst home record in the league. And Wednesday have got the worst away record in the league.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
Wow. It's a hard one to choose there, but
it really is.
I think it was a better man, and I know you're not going to agree, Anna, but I think Derby will stay up. I think Rooney will keep them up, and then Rooney can rebuild.
Rooney's completely decimated them. He's changed the system. He's not gone with a fixed formation. It's not worked. But I would. You know what? Why not? Let's say Sheffield Wednesday stay up. Let's say Derby go down. Because why not?
Could you imagine though, Sheffield Wednesday win 1-0 on the last day of the season, right? Which will put them 1 goal ahead of Derby and put Derby down.
Yeah,
but then Rotherham win, which will then put Sheffield Wednesday down on goal difference as well.
It's just clearly madness. That is why Rotherham is so big in this. Something needs to happen with Rotherham. I think they need to.
Rotherham get a point or beat Luton, and that would put Rotherham in the driving seat.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. But
it's Derby's, isn't it? Really, to lose.
It is. But if Rotherham win that game in hand against Luton, which I think is in 2 days' time.
Hell no, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's in 2 days' time. If they it's on the 4th. If they win that, oh my God, it's going to be chaos again.
It is. Right, boys. It's been a great show as always. I can't believe, by the way, I have to let you into a little secret here. Do you know why I did my countdown for 30 seconds? I forgot to press the go live button, so we didn't actually go live until I actually did all the other stuff. I've rung us all in, so I missed the first. I missed my intro and everything. It was so funny. But John, as always, you'll be doing the next one, pal. Hopefully, Annie will still be able to join us next time as well. We'll see what date falls on.
We've got Leicester on Friday, haven't we? We've got Leicester on Friday night. And
Friday night. I'm at work till 7, so if you can do that 8:15, that would be great, and then I can join. Sure. But if you can sort it all out, that'd be awesome.
Do it on a Saturday?
Do it on the Friday night, because I'm at work Saturday night as well. I'm at work Saturday, right. So I'm at work till 7. So we can. What time?
Sorry, Barry. I've got to go now. Right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks for coming on, pal.
Yeah. I'll see you later, guys. See you later, guys.
All right. See you later. So, I think it's Friday night we're playing according to David. David said we're playing on a Friday.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. No, we are Friday night. Just so we can let everyone know what time we'll be on. Friday 8 p.m. Yeah, it's going to be too late, isn't it?
You're on Saturday then for me.
Yeah, do it Saturday night, 8:15.
8:15 on Saturday.
Is that all right?
Yes.
Awesome. So, guys, join us Saturday, 8:15 for the next edition of FullTyne. It'll be on John's channel. So John will set up the show and he'll tweet it out, and then we'll all tweet it out, and then everyone can get involved and have their say. So, John, pleasure as always. Take care, everyone in the chat. Thanks, Andrew, for all your input, and Anne and Andy and Dave and Evan Thomas and everybody else, and Chippers obviously for coming on, and John coming on, and Surin coming on, who I've never met before. Great guy. Have a great evening, everyone. Oh, thanks. Judy, we missed you. Oh, nuts. See you, Judy. We'll go in. See you, John.
See you later. Just in. Ta-ra.